you wrote in your book, your first night back with the company, The Rock approaches you, and you guys reminisced about the Rock and Sock connection, and he gave you what almost sounded like an apology. Quote, Mick, when we teamed up, I was new to being a babyface. I almost felt like I was walking on eggshells, but I just watched some of that stuff we did, and man, that was some really funny shit. If we were to do some things together now, I'd be up for anything.
It's really nice. I forgot about that.
Is this like maybe almost a redemption tour? Because you're no longer, and listen, I know everybody has friends in wrestling, but on some level, these guys are your competition. We're competing for spots. Mm-hmm. This is before everybody has, just a downside guarantee, and that's all you're going to make. That's kind of the way the business is now because the pay scale has been inflated. But back then, man, you want to headline that pay-per-view. You want to be on the top of that card. You make more money. So it's not just about, hey, I want to go on last. It's about, I want to make the most money. And in a weird way, these guys who are your brothers, you're kind of competing with them. But as a commissioner, man, all that stress and pressure is gone. The dynamic has to be different, right?
It is, because in no way am I competing with anybody for a spot or a payoff. And guys know that even though I like the ha-ha, that when the situation calls for it, I'm going to put over their characters.
Yes.
And again, I'm not portraying myself as the toughest guy in the room, so I'm going to sell when things get serious. I'm going to be afraid of The Undertaker. I'm going to sell for Triple H. I'm going to fire up to him every once in a while when the situation calls for it. So I think you're right. I'm able to be friends with everybody. I really, truly enjoy myself. The only downside I touched on a little bit is that I'll say, as a guy who went through my career, like I never felt the pressure more when it came to like being alone and just having everyone around, talking about fans. So it was like the rock star life without the rock star trappings.
Yes.
And I think we covered this in another episode, saying in '99 there were about 12 of us, maybe 8 of us, given the option of having security. And I think everyone who was offered it took it except me. And at a certain point I was like, brother, I could use it because it's just everywhere. And I think singers go through this where after the big wave subsides, then they're more comfortable with the level of fame, which is fine. And now I get a lot of people just, hey, thank you very much.
Free Whataburger.
Yeah, free Whataburger here. And going back to what The Rock said, that's really nice. I'd forgotten that we had that talk, but one talk I remember is that when we saw each other, maybe it was Mania 2015, right around that time era, we had a nice talk about how neither one of us understood that what we were doing was going to stand the test of time.
Right. And
be remembered so fondly by people who were struggling and going through a difficult time. So whether that was a life-challenging illness or whether it was somebody who did not feel like they fit in, the stuff I did with Rock really made people happy. And I think the Mankind of that era, the happier Mankind, made people who did not feel like they fit in, felt like they had a place to fit in.
I love this era of your stuff, and 8 days after you're back and you have that talk with The Rock, you find yourself in the ring with him again. Quote, The Rock had a catchphrase that consisted of asking a person a question and then cutting them off. It doesn't matter what you think, want, say, wear, and so on. Personally, I hated the phrase because there was always some yahoo at a personal appearance who would use it, and it was really annoying. But on this night, however, The Rock suggested I use his own phrase.
Oh, he did
him.
suggest. I was asked about that. He suggested, how cool is that, right?
That right in your book. Rock, congratulations on being a 3-time World Wrestling Federation champion. In my opinion, this has to put you up there with the greatest World Wrestling Federation champions of all time. I was wondering if you could tell me what you think about that. At the moment The Rock got the first syllable out, I was there for the cutoff. Hit us with it, man.
It doesn't matter what you think about it. And then, if memory serves me correctly, I did 2 to 3 laps at a surprising pace for a big guy with bad knees. And The Rock sold it like $1 million. It's just that smile. It was great. Great TV.
Shaking his head in disbelief. The crowd is chanting, Foley, Foley. They're so happy for you. I mean, this really is the epitome of, and I know Vince has said it before, maybe he was criticized, but if this ain't putting smiles on people's faces, I don't know what is.
Oh, man. It was a beautiful time. And ironically, it was a time when we were getting the most negative feedback for the content of the show. And I just thought our critics were cherry picking those moments
Yeah.
that were a little contentious and overlooking the fact that it was really a fun show at that time.